Are you a man over 40 struggling with fat loss? Well, you most likely are making some of the biggest mistakes holding you back from achieving your goals of losing weight, feeling great, and being more confident. So in today's video, we're uncovering 7 of the biggest mistakes that are keeping men over 40 overweight and unhealthy. And more importantly, how you can fix them for good. Because sustainability is what I preach here. And I'm personally guilty myself of making these mistakes when I was overweight myself. So if you've tried diets, workouts, and still don't see results, chances are you're making one of these mistakes. And trust me, I've been there, and so have many of my clients. And these aren't just small tweaks, these are game changers when it comes to losing fat, getting in shape, and keeping the weight off for life. So make sure and stick around for the full video to correct these mistakes and finally see real fat loss results like myself and my clients have experienced. So let's get right into it. All right, let's kick things off with one of the most overlooked mistakes, and I'm speaking about meal timing. Now, I know life gets busy and eating on a schedule isn't always the easiest thing to do, but here's the deal. Eating sporadically or skipping meals altogether is like trying to drive cross country without a gas station in sight. You'll either run out of fuel or push your engine way too hard. And that's exactly what your body feels like when you skip meals or go long stretches without eating. Here's what happens. Your energy levels crash, cravings kick in, and by the time you finally eat, you're starving like crazy. And guess what? That's when the overeating happens. And you won't be reaching for a balanced plate of foods like chicken thighs, Brussels sprouts, and potatoes. Instead, you're grabbing whatever's fastest and most convenient. Usually something like processed and calorie-dense food like pizza and potato chips. Sounds familiar, right? Yeah, we've all been there. Now, let me hit you with some science. When you skip meals, your blood sugar levels drop and your body starts craving quick energy sources, aka sugars and carbs. And this leads to energy spikes and crashes throughout the day, making it harder to stay focused and even harder to stick to your goals. I know this because I've been there myself. Back when I was struggling with my own weight, I thought skipping meals would ultimately save me calories. Well, spoiler alert, it didn't. By the time dinner rolled around, I was so hungry I'd overeat without even realizing it. I'd easily consume over 2,000 calories in one sitting. It was bad. So here's the fix. Aim for consistency. In my coaching program, I have my clients eat 4 well-balanced meals a day, spaced out about 4 to 5 hours apart. Each meals include lean proteins, fiber-rich veggies, healthy carbs, and a small portion of healthy fats like a finger or two worth of nuts. And this balance keeps you full, energized, and on track. I have a full list of whole foods you can eat and start seeing results right away listed down in the show notes. So go download that. It's free and use it. So think of your meals like a pit stop in a race. If you plan them out, you're fueling your body efficiently, avoiding those crashes and keeping everything running smoothly. It's not about eating more, it's about eating smarter. And trust me, when you get this right, everything else becomes easier. Okay, let's talk about something that sneaks up on a lot of guys, and I'm speaking about drinking your calories. You might think it's just a coffee or what's a soda or a beer here and there. But here's the thing, those liquor calories add up fast, and they don't fill you up at all. Imagine pouring water into a bucket with a hole in it. That's what drinking sugary drinks, high-calorie coffees, or alcohol does to your daily calorie budget. And here's the problem, when you drink something like a sugary soda or a caramel latte, your body processes those calories so quick that it doesn't even feel like you registered them as food. You don't feel full, so you keep eating, not even realizing that you added an extra 300 to 500 calories to your day. And don't even get me started on alcohol. At 7 calories per gram, alcohol is nearly calorie dense as fat, which has 9 calories per gram. So a couple of beer or a few cocktails can set you back a few hundred calories without giving you any nutrients in return. Now, real talk, I've been there. Back when I was trying to lose weight myself, I'd have my healthy meals, but I'd still indulge in drinks like sweetened iced tea, high-calorie milkshakes, and full sugar sodas. It wasn't until I started being conscious of this that I realized how much those drinks were sabotaging my progress. So the solution? Well, stick to 0 or low-calorie drinks. Water, black coffee, unsweetened tea, or sparkling water are all great choices. And if you need a little bit of sweetness, there's plenty of sugar-free drink mixes or diet sodas that can do the trick without adding calories. I'm a big fan of incorporating diet sodas and sugar-free water flavor enhancers. They do wonders on keeping you on track. And the best part, once you cut out those liquid calories, you'll not only see the scale move in the right direction, but your energy levels will stabilize too, No more sugar crashes, no more hidden calorie bombs, just real sustainable progress that you can feel good about. Trust me, making these simple changes can be a complete game changer. All right, let's get into a mistake that hits close to home for so many men over 40, and this is expecting instant results. I get it, we live in a world where we want everything yesterday, and here's how it goes. You cut calories for a week, hit the gym twice, and step on a scale hoping for magic, only to see barely any changes. It's frustrating, and that's when doubt creeps in. You say, am I doing this wrong? Is this even worth it? It's rough what your mind can do. Now, here's the truth. Losing fat takes time. You didn't gain 20, 30, 50 pounds overnight, so it's unrealistic to think you'll lose that weight in a month. Real sustainable fat loss happens at a pace of about 1 to 2 pounds per week. And that's not just okay, that's ideal. See, going too fast often means you're losing muscle along with fat or burning out entirely. Think of it like building a house. If you rush through the foundation, the whole structure won't last. But if you lay the brick steadily and consistently, you'll end up with something solid that lasts for years. The same goes for your body. Consistency over weeks and months will get you the results that actually stick. And psychologically, it's easy to get discouraged when progress feels slow. But this is where you need to shift your mindset. Instead of obsessing over the scale every day, focus on non-scale victories like feeling more energized, clothes feeling better, or hitting a new personal best at the gym or your living room like I do. And these are the real markers of progress, my friend. So what's the fix to this? Well, patience and perspective. Set realistic goals and remind yourself that every small step forward adds up over time. In my coaching program, I always tell my clients to trust the process and focus on steady wins, not quick fixes, because when you stay consistent, the results will definitely come. And when you see and feel the results of being healthier and more confident, they'll all be worth the wait. I promise. Okay, let's tackle one of the sneakiest culprits keeping men over 40 overweight. And I'm talking about good old processed foods. And these are the snacks, frozen dinners, fast food meals, and sugary treats that dominate the grocery store shelves and the drive-thru menus. Think Reese's, Snickers, Hungry Man's, Whoppers, Big Macs, and Sour Patch Kids. And sure, they're convenient, but here's the catch. They're loaded with empty calories, unhealthy fats, and sugars that mess with your hunger signals and energy levels. Processed foods are designed to keep you coming back for more. They're engineered for what's called hyperpalatability. That's a fancy way of saying they hit the perfect balance of salty, sweet, and fatty to make you crave it even more. It's like eating a handful of chips. You think you will stop after one or two, but before you know it, the whole Doritos bag is empty. And here's the science. Processed foods are stripped from fiber, water, and the key nutrients, making them easy to overeat and digest quickly, causing blood sugar spikes followed by crashes. And this roller coaster not only leaves you feeling hungrier sooner, but also makes it harder to stay in a calorie deficit, which is the key driver to fat loss. It's a vicious cycle that keeps you stuck, my friend. Now, psychologically, processed foods are comforting. For instance, after a stressful day, reaching for that box of cookies or those drive-thru fries feel like a reward. But in the long run, these habits derail your progress, leaving you frustrated and wonder why you're not even seeing results. So, what's the fix here? Well, focus on whole, nutrient-dense foods. Build your meals with lean proteins like chicken thighs, fish, or turkey, plenty of fibrous veggies like broccoli and spinach, and a fist-sized portion or two of healthy carbs like baked potatoes or quinoa. Also add a finger-sized or two portion of healthy fats like some avocados or some type of nuts to round it out so you're also getting those nutrients. And like I said before, I'll have a full list of whole foods you can incorporate into your diet to start seeing fat loss results listed below in the show notes for free. So go download that and use it. And listen, I'm not saying you have to be perfect. I encourage a 90-10 approach. Focus on whole foods 90% of the time and allow yourself to have a little bit of flexibility for the foods you love for the other 10%. It's about balance, not perfection. And when you prioritize whole foods, you'll feel fuller, have more energy, and finally start seeing fat loss results that you've been chasing. All right, let's get real for a moment. Overcomplicating the process is one of the biggest traps keeping men over 40 stuck in the weight loss struggle. With so much conflicting advice out there, it's easy to think that you need a perfect combination of supplements, extreme workouts, or trendy diets to see results. But here's the truth. Simplicity is your best friend. When you try and do too much at once, like cutting carbs completely, fasting for 16 hours, and hitting the gym for 2 hours every day, it becomes overwhelming and unsustainable. This all or nothing mindset often leads to burnout, frustration, and eventually giving up entirely. See, the process isn't supposed to feel like rocket science. It's about creating small, actionable habits that work for you. Take this real life example. A client of mine came last year doing a mix of keto, intermittent fasting, and CrossFit, all at the same time. He was super miserable, stressed, and not seeing any steady results. But once we simplified his approach, prioritizing balanced meals, resistance training, and walking, he not only started losing fat, but he also felt more energized and less stressed. It was a game changer for him. He was seeing super steady fat loss in the long run, which made us both happy. Now, psychologically, overcomplicating things often stem from the belief that more is better. But in reality, more complexity doesn't mean better results. It just means more frustration. A simple, consistent plan beats a chaotic, overly ambitious one every single time. So, what's the fix? Well, stick to the basics. Consciously eat whole foods, stay active, and incorporate resistance training. With my clients, I emphasize simplicity, teaching them how to build meals, track progress, and stay consistent without overloading them with unnecessary strategies. And when you simplify the process, the benefits are clear. Less stress, more clarity, and the results that actually last. You'll stop spinning your wheels trying to do everything and start making real, measurable progress. Remember, fat loss isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing the right things consistently. Okay, failing to plan meals or prep ahead is like heading out on a road trip without a map or GPS. You're just setting yourself up for detours and delays. When you don't have a plan, it's easy to grab whatever's convenient, whether it's fast food, processed snacks, or skipping meals altogether. And for men over 40, this lack of preparation can derail progress faster than you think. And the logic here is simple. When you're unprepared, you're more likely to rely on calorie-dense, nutrient-poor foods. And these options don't keep you full, spike your blood sugar, and often lead to overeating later in the day. And over time, this pattern makes it nearly impossible to stay in a calorie deficit, which is the cornerstone for fat loss. Now, imagine it's 7 p.m. and you just got home from a long day of work. The fridge is empty, you're starving, and the drive-thru starts sounding like your best friend. Sounds familiar, right? Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell, McDonald's. And this kind of last-minute decision-making doesn't just sabotage your calorie goals. It creates a cycle of guilt and frustration. Now, psychologically, planning ahead creates a sense of control. When you've got meals ready to go, there's no guesswork, no scrambling, and no temptation to make poor choices. Plus, preparing meals in advance saves time and energy throughout the week, making it easier to stay consistent. So here's the fix for this. Make meal prep a non-negotiable part of your routine. I teach my clients to batch cook their foods like chicken thighs, baked potatoes, and roasted veggies on Sundays. It takes less than an hour and sets you up for success all week. Also, keep healthy snacks on hand too. Things like beef jerky, Greek yogurt, or a good protein bar, so you're never caught off guard. And the benefits of planning ahead are huge. With fewer impulsive choices, better control over your calorie intake, and a peace of mind that comes from knowing you're fueling your body properly. When you prep ahead, you're not just saving time, you're setting yourself up to win in the fat loss game, my friend. Now, one of the biggest mistakes men over 40 make is thinking they're too old to change. It's this mindset of my best days are behind me, or what's the point now? And let me tell you, that's the kind of thinking that guarantees failure before you even start. Age isn't the barrier, it's your limiting belief that's holding you back. And science backs this up. The body's incredibly adaptable, even as we age. Sure, building muscle and losing fat might take a little bit longer compared to your 20s, but it's far from impossible. In fact, studies show that with the right nutrition and training, men over 40 can achieve impressive results, from fat loss to muscle gain to better overall health. Let me give you a real life scenario. I've worked with men who thought they'd never get in shape again. They'd tell me stories how they used to play sports in their younger years, but now they couldn't even climb a flight of stairs without getting winded. Now, after we shifted their mindset and embraced smaller, sustainable changes, they not only lost the weight, but they started feeling stronger and more confident than they did in decades. No matter where you are right now, you can always do better mentally and physically. You just have to get rid of that limiting belief that you can't. and switch that to I can and I will. Now, psychologically, it's easy to feel like the mountain is too high to climb, especially when you're bombarded with images of younger, fitter men on social media. But here's the truth. This is your journey, and it's never too late to start. Every small step adds up, and the sooner you start, the sooner you'll see progress. So here's the solution. Reframe your thinking. Instead of focusing on where you were 20 years ago, focus on where you want to be, even 20 years from now. I want to be in incredible shape in my 60s, and I will, and you can too. You just need to commit to the process, not perfection. With my clients, I emphasize creating sustainable habits like resistance training twice a week. We focus on certain portions of whole foods depending on the client's weight, and getting enough sleep. These changes seem small, but they compound into big results over time. And here's the reward. You'll prove to yourself and everyone else that age isn't a limitation. You'll feel better, move better, and regain all that sense of pride and confidence that's been missing. Being over 40 isn't a disadvantage. It's an opportunity to show just how strong and capable you really are. Now, if you'd like more help with transforming your body for a happier, healthier, and more confident life, click the link down in the show notes. I'll see you soon.